This poem is written. This poem is written by. This poem is written by the poet A. Houseman, and this poem is narrated as the narrator is telling farewell to farewell. Farewell um, leaving from a place. Farewell to that we can from this we can understand that how the narrator loved his work, and now he is telling farewell to his natural surrounding, and this is the first farewell he did in this poem. So we can see that the narrator love his job very much. And in the second stanza, the narrator told farewell to a Seven Show. Um, Seven Show is a place. Seven Show is a river, and the narrator told farewell to that river also. And from this we can understand that how this place is. Uh, uh, how this place is a lovable place for here place for the narrator. Terence, look you last at me, for I come home no more. In these lines, um, the narrator told farewell to Terence. Terence is sometimes he's a listener of this narrator, or the friend of this narrator. He bids farewell to his friend also. Look you last at me, for I come home no more. From this we can understand that he also going to miss his friend. Now we analyze about the second stanza. The sun burns on the half moon hill. By now the blood is dried, and more is amongst the hail I still, and my knife is in his side. The second stanza clears out up that the narrator done the murder, and uh, we can understand, we can know that the narrator killed his brother, and he is going, he still lies among the hay, and he is going to another village. Mm, and my knife is in his side. We can understand that his knife is in his side. Um, from this we can understand the narrator um, the narrator did the murder, that the possessive pronoun my is there. Uh, we can understand the murder is held in the daytime, because of the diction sun burns on the half moon hill, and the narrator also told that the blood is right. From this we can also know that the blood is right because of the heat of the sun. uh, Here the speaker provides a witness that his knife is in the side of the um, dead body, and we can understand that we can know about the place where this murder was held by the diction hail I still, uh, by the diction half mount hill. From this we can understand that the murder is held in the farm, and when they were mourning the field, they fought, and the one brother killed, and another one is going to leave his village. The diction blood indicates tragedy, and after the diction dried, the narrator used semicolon there. Uh, Usually, we use semicolon to continue something, so that the narrator use semicolon there to continue something. Next, we analyze about the third stanza of this poem. Mother thinks us long away. This time the field were mown. She had two sons at the rising day. Tonight she will be alone. In this stanza, the narrator feels about his thinks about his mother, and he told that their mother think that. Her two sons will finish their work and came to a house. But the in the situation in the field is changed. And she had two sons in the rising day. Tonight she will be alone. From this we can understand the narrator love his mother, and um, the narrator love his mother, and the narrator is feels feel the narrator will miss his mother. Tonight she will be alone. In this stanza, the narrator told her that his mother will be alone for that night, for every night after that day, because her one son is died, and one son is died, and the another son who killed his brother is going to leave his village. um, uh, Now we'll analyze about the fourth stanza of this poem. And here's a bloody hand to shake, and oh man, here's a goodbye. We will sweet no more on skid and rake, my bloody hands and I. In the first line of this stanza, the narrator told his hand as a bloody hand, because his hand is a corrupted one, because by that hand he killed his brother. So that the narrator told his hand as a bloody hand. And oh man, here's a goodbye. Here the narrator told goodbye here, uh, because uh, we can understand the narrator is told goodbye here. We can understand that we can't understand for who the narrator is telling uh, goodbye, for his listener, uh, or his brother who was died. Uh, Here the narrator told goodbye, because but he is leaving from that village, so it is a bad bye. But he is telling goodbye because if he there, then village will be get bad name. Um, but if he leave from there, the village would not get bad name. We'll sweet no more on skith and rake, my bloody hands and I. In this line also, the narrator think about his work. We can understand that by the dictions skit and rake. We'll sweet no more on skit and rake. Here also the narrator tell to his friend that we will not uh, work together anymore. And my bloody hands and I, in this line, the narrator told him also as a corrupted one, my bloody hands and I. In the starting line of this stanza, the narrator told his hands as a corrupted one, and but in the last line of this stanza, the narrator told his him also as a corrupted one. Uh, Now we will analyze about the fifth stanza. I wish you strength to bring you pride, and I love and I love to keep you clean, and I wish luck come Lama's side at racing on the green. In this stanza, the narrator brings a series of wishes to his friend. the first wish from him to his friend is have pride on himself. Have pride of himself. From this, we can understand that the narrator is the narrator is have disgrace on himself due to the fratricide. The second wish from the narrator to his friend is have a uh, have a pure lover to keep him clean and keep him clean. It is an implication. Its implication is to have pure love without any misunderstanding or without any misunderstanding or unfaithfulness. It is an evidence that speaker did not have a true lover, and we can understand that the woman who loved the speaker is uh, did not faithful for him. In the third line of this poem, the narrator yeah, the narrator told about the Lamacide. Lamacide is a village harvesting festival where the woman and the man get together. So the narrator wished his friend to have luck to find a faithful lover in the Lamacide and um, uh, live his life with in the background of green scenery. Um, we analyze about the fifth stanza of this poem. Long for me the rig will wait, and long will wait the fold, and long will stand the empty plate, and dinner will be cold. In the first two stanza of this, the first two lines of this stanza also, the narrator thinks about his work. By the We can understand that narrator is thinks about his work in the last stanza also because of the dictions Rick and Fold. Um, and long will stand the empty plate and dinner will be cold. Uh, in this line we can understand that the narrator is telling that he will not go to his home, and if he will not go to his home, and if he wouldn't went to his home, his plate will be empty, and if mother put dinner in the plate, the dinner will be cold. Normally we know that if the food did not eat, and got late, the food will got late, um, the food will got cold, so that the narrator told the dinner will be cold. Thank you for listening me. Thank you.
A warm good evening to you all. Today I'm going to present about the poem The Eagle. The Eagle was written by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Alfred Lord Tennyson was born on 1809 in England. We know that most of the English literature poets was born in London, and also they write many useful poems in our studies. Before going to analyze this poem, I want to tell something about the bird, the eagle. The eagle is a large predatory bird in the bird's kingdom. Eagles are dominant predators and are known as birds of prey. Eagles fed off smaller birds and bats, the sky, and small mammals and fish on the ground. The eagle is well known for its eyesight. Because its eyesight is more than 8% of a human. That's why it is well known because of its incredible eyesight. It is not only a creature that could see look to the sun directly, and also the eagle is used as a symbol in many national flags and impulse all around the world, as it is lived to resemble sterling power and the majesty and the good fortune. And also, this poem is called as Turkey type of poem because it is situated two stanzas with three lines. That's why it is the Turkey type of poem. And also, the rhyming scheme of this poem is A and B. This is a small poem with a huge with represents the huge represents the huge nature power through this poem. Now we analyze the poem. The first stanza: he claps the crack with crooked hands, close to the sun in lonely lands, ringed with azure world he stands. According to the poet, depicts that the eagle is claps claps its hands into the crack. Claps means which is creeping. That means that means holding something, and crack means a steep, high face of rock. That's why the eagle is holding a high face of rock with its crooked hands because it is it not has a straight hand. Its hands may be parted with the clone. That's why it is maybe called as crooked hand. And also we can't tell that the bird eagle is a straight person. That's because when if the eagle is spotted to prey without any idea, it maybe attacked the prey and he had it. So that or that may be a reason for using that word crooked hands. That means which is not straight. So that in this line the eagle is collapsing something very tightly, close to the sun in lonely land. In this line, the poet uses the literary device hyperbole, and also we all know that close to the sun is not an possible action, because no one can reach that height because sun is above the world, so we can't close to the sun easily. But the poet says that close to the sun in lonely lands reminds that the eagle's lonely noble attitude and the detachment, so that the poet says that the eagle is close to the sun. That may be the hyperbole in this line, because that is not an easy task. But from that statement, the poet says poet reveals the higher flying skill. That means the greatest flying skill of the bird, the eagle. And the third line of this poem: ringed with azure world he stands. That may be azure world means which is surrounded by blue, so that the behind world of the beneath world of the eagle is maybe a sea. That's why the poet uses that means it is living in azure world, and also the living place of the eagle is very high. That's why he just tell that lonely lands. And also when he flies in the sky, no one can reach that because of the huge flying skill of the bird eagle. Now we analyze about the second stanza of this poem. The wrinkled sea beneath him crawls, he watches from his mountain walls, and like a thunderbolt he falls. The opening line of this second stanza, the wrinkled sea beneath him crawls, emphasizes that he the eagle is standing far above the sea. He gets the view of the sea is that means he gets the view of trampling and tumbling sea waves as sprinkles. Sprinkles means which is lined. That means when we look at the dress, there may be wrinkles. On that manner, when the eagle look at the sea, that the sea waves are seen to him as the wrinkles of a cloth. And also when we look at this, we can feel the vivid imagery, so that means visual imagery, so that the poet uses another literary device, visual imagery in this poem. He watches from his mountain walls. From that we can confirm that the eagle is living in a higher place. That means which is mountain walls, and his mountain walls may remind us that because it is the king of the birds kingdom, and also it is living in a highest place, so that from that the writer maybe reveal the fact that it is ruled every birds. That's why it is situated, or that's why it is lived in a highest place. And like a thunderbolt he falls. Thunderbolt is the fastest action of the nature. In this line, that means when the eagle spotted the prey, that maybe flies like a thunderbolt, and he catches the prey. That means the quick action of the eagle. He just fly like a thunderbolt and catch the prey. The simile is the last line, and like a thunderbolt he falls. Like a thunderbolt he falls is a simile, because in literature, if there is used to like or as, we can confirm that that is the literary device simile. From that, the poet uses the literary device simile in this line. The main theme of this poem are three. There are three main theme of this poem. The first one is majesty of nature. According to the poem, the eagle, it is clear that the poem is about a bird. The bird is the eagle, which considered as kings of the birds' kingdom. In this poem, the poet points out the wonders of nature, the majesty of nature. For this purpose, the poet glorifies the bird as remarkable member of the nature family, because eagle is also a creature of nature. Through to the eagle, the poet tries to uh, emphasizes the high cracks and the top of the trees. When the eagle's physical appearance is considered, it is obvious that he has crooked hands, sharp teeth, and eyes to shoot his predatory extents. Hence, the eagle can creep the high rocks very firmly and tightly, and also eagle has more power, energy, and swiftness to descend for a prey like a thunderbolt. The second theme of this poem is freedom and solitude. Another theme conveyed in this poem is freedom enjoyed by the eagle and his solitude. Eagle is living his life in it's living his life without any depends, so that it is living his life very freedom. The diction lonely lands and the lonely noble attitude may be point it accurately because it is living in a lonely place, and it may be a freedom person. They think that it is a disgrace for them to associate with ordinary common people when compared to the eagle. And the third main theme of this poem is authoritarian power. Tennyson described the element of nature to show the link between human life and physical world. He depicts the eagle in extreme terms as a super creature or a powerful force of nature. The eagle reminds us the nature of monarchs who behave as detectors with authoritarian power and arbitrary. Um, and also, therefore, he is like a king living in a high rock fortress with majestic power. Now we analyze about the poetic techniques. When we look at the language of this poem, the tension uses uh, the poem is made up of a series of verb pairs and simple present tense to depict the eagle's regular habitual actions. Um, and also, personification is the main first and main literary device in this poem, because the poet gives a human characteristic to the eagle, so that uh, the eagle is compared to the human. That's why the literary device personification is used in this poem. And imagery, this poem is full of imagery. That means we can feel the actual world and the high rock um, and the mountain walls. These are some example for the visual imagery in this poem. And he uses metaphors. When we look at he watches from his mountain walls, and the brindle she beneath him crawls are some example for the metaphors in this poem. Simile, and like a thunderbolt he fall, is a simile to the when we look at this poem, it is a simile to this poem. And also the poet uses alliteration, consonants, assonance, metonymy in this poem. And also hyperbole is also a main poetic technique, because he just give he just told impossible action through to the bird, because close to the sun is not a possible one, but he just used this to emphasize as the power of the eagle. Techniques, and also from this poem we can know about the power of nature and the brave. We can know about the nature power. So that I would like to thank everybody. Thank you.
A warm good evening to my a warm good evening to you all. Today, in this wonderful evening, I would like to speak on the Farewell to Barn and Country. This poem was written by A. Hoffman. This poem reveals that the leaving of the speaker, that the speaker is saying goodbye to others. Now, the A. Houseman is an English classic poet and a scholar. He was born on 26th March 1859. The theme of the poem is grief and loss. Here, the poem mentioned that about the two brothers' communication and what about the end of their life. And here, two of the brothers and how one of them accidentally met with the end, and who he was how he was killed. Here, this poem is the topic says the poet is getting ready to leave, and he is saying farewell to the animate objects. mainly he gives priority to the surrounding, not to humans, but the surrounding lights, barn, stuck, and tree, which means he is in the farm village. So he is associated with farming activities. So he says farewell to the not the person, to the things. And this poem is separated into four sets of 4 lines, and each lines are separated into 6 stanzas. So it is called as quatrains. The impactual pattern of this poem is A B A B C D C D. And if we look about the first line of the first stanza, farewell to barn and second tree. Here the poet is utilizing the title as the first line. Here he gives the priority to the first line of the poem as the title. Here he's saying farewell to barn, stack, and tree. Here the diction farewell is repeating 2 times, so it is called as repetition. It means he is leaving the place to another place. Um, and farewell to Seven Show. The Seven Show means the largest river in UK. Uh, he's saying the farewell to Seven Show. Here the word Seven Show, Seven and Show are starting the same letter, so it is an alliteration. In the third line, Terence, look your last at me, for I come home no more. Here, we are not aware of a person, and here person's name is mentioned, who is called as Terence. So, um, we can have a thought that he is the listener of the poem, as he is listening the speaking of the narrator, and the narrator asks to look at him, and if we leave the place he will not come back again to the place. And it shows a great deal of mystery to us. um, Here we can have a question. What is driving the speaker to go to the other place without his village? It may the willingness of him, or he would be forced by anyone to go. And in the second stanza, the sun burns on the half mount scale. By now the blood is dried, and more is almost the highlight skill, and my knife is in his hand. So this is the morning time, because it says sunburns on the half mount hill. Here the word half mount hills is alliteration, because half mount and hill, the 2 words are starting the same letter, which means they are starting with the letter H. And if we look at the next line, by now the blood is dried, and myrrh is almost the highlight still. Here the blood is dried with the heat of the sun. So the blood is it is the blood. With the word blood, we can have a thought of emergency, which means there is a happened of the cruel activity. So here we can thought that the narrator had done a thing wrong, and he it is the dramatic part of this poem. He is he killed someone, or it may be the accident which was happened by the narrator. And in the third and fourth lines, we can have a transaction, which means enjambment, the cutting off of the line without the nature stopping point. Here, the word mine is possessive adjective. Here, we have a close point of this. And we will move to the third stanza. My mother thinks us long away. This time the field were mown. She had two sons at racing day. Tonight she will be alone. So here in the third stanza, he is considering about his mother, and he's happened by him. So here of the son, the mother had two sons, and at the end, in the night, she will have no sons and she will be alone. So here the poetess has a loss of his brother, family, and place. Uh, with the details, the speaker did a crime activity, and uh, if we can have a thought that uh, from the um, from the second stanza, we will have a doubt that who was killed by him. The killed person, who is the brother of the narrator, because the mother has two sons at the morning, so other one should be the second son of the mother. So it gives a tragedy to us because the speaker is committed with a crime activity. It is a unexpected tragedy. And if we look at the fourth stanza, and here's a bloody hand to shake, and oh man, here's goodbye. We'll sweep no more on the rake, the bloody hands, and I. Here he is considering about his work, and he's saying that he's going to shake the, and he's shaking she's saying the other person to shake the hands, because he will not be at that place for see him at the next time. So then we will move to the next stanza. I wish you strengthen to bring your pride and a love to keep you clean. And I wish you luck